Enbridge has now confirmed the anticipated startup date for the Northern Gateway pipeline will likely be delayed. But the company says it's not fussing over not starting up in 2018 as originally planned. But while the project is still moving forward, those opposed are hoping continued pressure will push that deadline past viability.
Some of it's fairly simple, but where, some of our more complex is when you start getting some of the major river crossings, for instance.
It's looking less and less like the Northern Gateway pipeline will be firing up in 2018 as the project's initial timeline proposed. Enbridge says it's not worried about the extension, saying that became a reality when the National Energy Board set out 209 conditions as part of the project's approval.
We need to get these conditions done correctly, and we need to meet that to the for the approval of the National Energy Board. And we have said from the beginning it would take a lot of time. And we're focused on meeting those conditions and having these important conversations with communities and taking the necessary time to do it.
There has been steady opposition to the pipeline project since it was first launched. Hearing of a delay is very promising news to the Sea to Sands Conservation Alliance.
Well, I think this is really probably positive news for people who have serious concerns about this, that Enbridge is realizing that the hurdles confronting them are pretty mammoth. I think that they're being pretty optimistic to think that it could go even after 2018.
Mary McDonald says the vastness of socioeconomic backgrounds of those opposed to the Northern Gateway pipeline speaks volumes, especially with the youth voice adding to the mix for potentially years to come.
Well, I think so, because as the young people opposed to this are getting older, they're going to be getting into positions of influence in society increasingly. And I do think that the value system of Canadians in general is starting to shift. We've just had the Mount Polley disaster, which has been a wake-up call for many people.
Enbridge insists, despite the delayed startup and the vast number of conditions to be met, the Northern Gateway project will be viable well into the long term.
Given the number of different proposals for different projects on the West Coast for oil and the importance that the Canadian government has placed on expanding our markets and diversifying our markets, I would say that the perspectives for this project are very good.
Enbridge is also in the process of revamping cost estimates as a result of the 209 conditions. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.